Hey, stop scrolling. This isn't your typical celebrity feud. We're seeing Nicki Minaj and Jay-Z engage in a full-on brawl. Additionally, there is money up for grabs this time. Large sums of money, about $200 million. Nicki did more than simply subtweet him. She became quite angry. She said that Hoviv owes her a bag large enough to support 3 generations. We now hear that Jay may have finally answered. Behind closed doors, not online. This isn't rumors. The rap gods are at odds. Here. Additionally, the internet is genuinely in ruins. You must remain here if you have even a passing interest in hip-hop. Let's dissect everything. Since this was not a hazy Twitter storm, let's start with what Nicki Minaj really stated. Sis went all IRS collector on Jay-Z after logging in. Jay-Z. Call me to pay off the karmic debt, she said on social media. All it's doing is gathering greater interest. But you're still in my top 5. Let's get it. Off rip, she's blending business with faith. It's classic Nicki. Poetic, incisive, and rather petty. She then added a crazy twist. She said, anyone still calling him will answer to God for the blasphemy. Hold on, what? It would be like criticizing the Pope for donning white. The fans were shaken. However, if you know Nicki, you are aware that she never throws shots without a backstory. The internet dug, and lo and behold, we discovered it. The $200 million drama has a direct connection to Jay-Z's streaming service. Do you recall that? In 2015, Jay held a grand news conference to introduce TIDAL. He gathered a number of well-known performers, including Beyoncé, Kanye, Rihanna, Alicia Keys, and yes, Nicki Minaj, and offered them each a small share in the business. It was intended to eliminate the middlemen and empower artists. Nicki gave it her full support, promoted it on social media, had songs released there alone, and even made an appearance at launch parties. Let's fast forward until 2021. For $300 million, Jay sells Jack Dorsey's Square the bulk of the title. He takes a large check and leaves. We don't know about the others, but Nicki just informed us that she received nothing. I received not a single red cent. Apart from Beyoncé, I was the one who marketed it the most. It's accurate. Then, yes, this is more than simply an industrial disaster. This might be a lawsuit in the making. Did Jay-Z reply, then? Not in public, Hoviv moves like a mafia don, you know. Suits, strategy, and silence. However, according to those close to both sides, he made contact in private. According to one insider, Nicki's demands were inflated, but legal was still considering them, and Jay's team wasn't anticipating this to be made public. In other words, they're rushing behind the scenes. Another report said that, given the $200 million amount, Jay was shocked that Nicki had revealed this to the world. And to be honest, Nicki is most likely contacting his attorneys if he is mistaken. Oh, things are going to get really costly if she's correct. Let's be honest now. If it weren't for one item, the title-related information may have remained secret. The Super Bowl. New Orleans is hosting the 2025 halftime performance. Lil Wayne's hometown. Yo, this is perfect, said the crowd. Wayne is the main act, with Drake and Nicki as special guests. YMCB reunion. Let's leave. However, Kendrick Lamar was chosen instead. Don't be mean to Kendrick, please. Poetry in motion is that man. However, Nicki saw this as more than simply a squandered chance. Jay-Z, who currently manages Super Bowl music through Roc Nation, purposefully sabotaged it. One took a knee, the other took the bag, she tweeted. It's a reference to Jay's collaboration with the NFL following the Kaepernick demonstrations. She claims that Jay blocked her and Wayne because he put power before morality. She views it as just one more step in her lengthy strategy of blackballing her staff. This is the point at which Nicki becomes really emotional. And I understand. She has consistently stated that Wayne salvaged her career, found her, helped her grow, and put her on when no one else would. Thus, she witnesses Wayne being excluded from his city's Super Bowl. Yes, that was rather hurtful. She said that without any written paperwork, Wayne took Drake and me on tour. He transformed hip-hop's image. He is deserving of his flowers. She claims that Wayne was punished by Jay-Z. Not because of Wayne personally, but rather because of his prior conflicts with Cash Money's leader, Birdman. Birdman vs. Jay-Z is currently scheduled. Wayne and Nicki are caught in the midst of this. What began as a financial feud has evolved into a protracted turf battle between Cash Money and Roc Nation, two of the largest hip-hop empires. This is when things start to become a bit more complicated. Additionally, Nicki is disparaging Roc Nation's Megan Thee Stallion. They had a cold connection at first. Together, they even released Hot Girl Summer. However, things took a turn for the worst as Megan began to blow up. Megan collaborated with Cardi B, a well-known competitor of Nicki. Then, there were whispers regarding abortion, drunkenness, and dubious behind-the-scenes activities. Fans linked Nicki's claims that she was urged to drink while potentially pregnant to Megan. She also hinted that Nicki is being overlooked as Megan, the industry darling of Roc Nation, is promoted as the new face of female rap. The Roc Nation machine is undoubtedly involved in this conflict, whether that is genuine or not. They are the ones, in Nicki's opinion, pulling the strings to destroy her legacy. Nicki continued beyond people. She also pursued locations similar to the Roc Nation breakfast. Hip-hop's take on the royal wedding is that annual invite-only pre-Grammy celebration. You're in if you're present. You're essentially blacklisted if you're not. Since 2015, Nicki has not been seen there. She also made it known. You all wanted brunch, which annoyed me. I was looking for the truth. She claims that the Roc and brunch communities as a whole are a part of this false sense of optimism where individuals make deals behind your back while grinning in your face. She sees it all as a facade, a way for powerful people to protect their favorites and circle the wagons. Nicki stressed that the fans are suffering, and to be honest, it struck a different chord. She claimed that because all of their favorite musicians are either blacklisted or refuse to perform, fans can no longer even enjoy award events or significant occasions. According to her, the fans used music as a means of escape from their everyday existence. They now have to take sides and fight for their favorite musicians as if it were a war. She is correct. It's becoming increasingly difficult for true hip-hop fans to just appreciate the music without being sucked into label politics and industry feuds because of the endless drama. What comes next? Nicki is not going to back down. Although Jay-Z hasn't made any public statements, his crew may be preparing behind the scenes. A significant lawsuit over the TIDAL reward, legal threats of defamation or NDA violation, or, and this is unlikely, a full-scale public apology or settlement may all be in the cards. One thing is certain, though, this is more than simply drama. This is a more profound conflict over legacy, power, and who gets to write the tale of hip-hop's past. Okay, so before we conclude, we have a topic to discuss that isn't given any mention in the majority of the headlines: the unscrupulous individuals working behind the scenes. Nicki came for more than just Megan and Jay-Z. She mentioned someone, which caused many of you to rush to Google. Desiree Perez, Roc Nation's CEO. She referred to her as the ugly, laughy, taffy alien and essentially charged her with attempting to forcibly replace Nicki. This is what gives things their spice. Desiree is more than simply the CEO, she has been Jay-Z's right hand for a long time. Been present for many years. She has dealt with talent management, legal turmoil, and negotiations. She is quiet, off-camera, and never ostentatious. Because of this, it felt personal when Nicki confronted her directly. Nicki went so far as to propose that Desiree dismiss a few of Nicki's backroom supporters. According to her, Roc Nation is prepared to spend all of its money in an attempt to force fetch, that is, to replace Nicki with another female rapper. Not to be overlooked is G. Roberson's son, Nicki's former manager who previously worked for Roc Nation and Jay-Z. Nicki hasn't explicitly mentioned his name. She has made it clear that someone on her former team, not her, was loyal to Jay. She essentially feels that her own management deceived her. People who, rather than defending her, choose to preserve their ties with the Roc Nation empire. So, now it's not just about music. Corporate sabotage is what this is. Allegedly industry puppeteering and boardroom beef. And you know what? This might be the part that makes everything click. If Nicki's telling the truth, if these power moves were happening behind her back for years, then this is bigger than a Super Bowl slot or a missing payout. This is about who controls, who gets remembered in hip-hop history, who becomes the legend, and who gets buried under politics. Y'all, this whole situation feels like The Godfather meets Love and hip-hop. It's betrayal, business, and big ego energy. All in one. But I want to hear from you. Does Nicki have a point? Was she really robbed in the TIDAL deal? Did Jay-Z blackball Cash Money from the Super Bowl? Or is this just her lashing out? Out in frustration? Drop a comment below. I'm reading every single one of them. Anyway, this concludes today's video. Be sure to subscribe to LoafTube for future celebrity videos and turn on that post notification bell so you don't miss out on any future uploads. Until then, see you in the next one. I be looking down.